We've all heard of ride-hailing apps, but what if you want to take control and drive yourself around? In the past, you had to purchase, rent, or steal a car in order to get behind the wheel, but nowadays there's a new option. It's called Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace where anyone can list their car for rent for a day, and then strangers come by, pick it up, drive it around, and drop it off, and you collect some money. And if you're a host, you may be wondering, well, what kind of car will make me the most money? So to figure this out, I went looking for a Turo API, which would let me access their public data to see if they offer one. And the only thing I found looked like it was related to Smart Car, meant for an in-car integration, not meant for anyone to download public data, so that was unfortunate. And then I stumbled across this GitHub repo, which appears to be a very large data set of Turo data, the exact car rental information we're looking for. And it looks like this person created a web app where you can browse data from the United States and look at charts and all sort of stuff, but I'm not sure this is exactly what I want. They do offer the raw data set available here on Kaggle, but as I can see here, it's about 3 years old, and just like cars, when it comes to data, I prefer to have the latest version. So the author was nice enough to share exactly how they scrape the data with the code, and I could potentially clone this repo and run this myself and get my own fresh data, but it seems to be coming from an unofficial API that was found from Turo's website, so re-accessing it outside of Turo.com may be against the terms of service and get me in trouble. Well, what if there were a way to quickly and safely extract the data from Turo.com or any other website for that matter without violating their terms of service or having to write or run or debug any sloppy, messy, disgusting code? Well, I'm going to show you a solution called HAR file web scraping, which, full disclaimer, is a paid service that I happen to own, making this video extremely biased. If you just want to skip ahead to the results section of my analysis, I'll put the timestamp in the description. Otherwise, let me show you how it's done. So I'm going to simply go to Turo.com and then right-click on the web page and hit Inspect. This is going to open up Developer Tools, which will record my web traffic, including all the raw structured data that Turo sends to my browser. Now I'm just going to use the site normally, how it was intended to be used, while I record all of this data I'm going to post-process when I'm done with the site. So here I can see there are plenty of cars in New Jersey, but none in New York. Maybe it's not legal in New York or something, but I don't care. I just want to get a bunch of cars nearby me. So if I pan around this map, it'll start loading more cars into my browser, which are being recorded. And I can just keep panning around, and maybe I'll go to Philadelphia, and then Baltimore, Washington, D.C. And I could keep going to Florida if I wanted, but this looks like enough cars for now. We'll stop at Virginia Beach. Now I'm going to take a closer look at all the web traffic I was recording, and when I sort by size and go to the top, I can see all of these search URLs that look like what the GitHub repository was using. And I can see all of this output data that looks exactly like the data I saw in that big Kaggle dataset, except this one isn't 3 years old. And what I can do is also check out the headers tab, and I can see that unofficial URL that one could reaccess. However, I don't recommend it because it appears to be protected by Cloudflare, so you may get your IP address banned if you try to reaccess it outside of this web application. But what you can do is click this little button here called Download HAR File, and it will download all of this data combined together onto your local computer. And I'm going to show you a freemium software tool that's able to get structured CSVs out of all this combined data without writing any code. This here is the Steve C. Data HAR file web scraper, link in the description. So I just drag and drop the HAR file, and it automatically finds where the similar requests are that got me all those car listings and groups them together. So I can download the individual JSON bits for free, just like I could in the network tab. This just makes it a little bit easier since they're all grouped together. The problem, though, is that I want to combine the output from all these different JSON files into, say, a single CSV file or dataset I can analyze at once. I don't want to deal with all these messy files. So if you're on any paid Steve C data plan, you'll see this parse button, which will do just that for a price. So here I can see the platform automatically combined all those individual JSON files into collections. So here, this collection corresponds to all of the individual car listings, and it looks like I have almost 3,000 of them from the whole map that we scrolled around. So I'm just checking out the columns here, and keep in mind that some of these are going to be duplicates because when we scrolled around the map, it just sends back the cars for each tile, so there's going to be overlap. But we can find a vehicle ID column in here that we'll use later on to deduplicate our results. And it looks like I have plenty of other interesting columns we'll check out later. So now I want to export this as a CSV file. I'm just going to click expanded CSV. And now I have a CSV of nearly 3,000 listings, all in CSV format without writing any code or breaking any terms of service. And then I just uploaded this CSV file to Google Drive, and I'm going to use Google Colab, a free tool you can access to run Python Jupyter Notebook so we can perform our data analysis. So I load up my file into a pandas data frame using the Colab file mount for Google Drive. And right now I want to deduplicate the cars. That's the first thing I want to do. So I can see initially I have 2,600 or so vehicles, and I'm going to use this vehicle.id to deduplicate everything. Okay, and now I'm down to only 1,000. So that's a bummer, but I also want to remove any vehicles that have not been rented at all. Otherwise, we'll get a lot of outliers in our revenue. So now I'm down to about 752 cars that have been rented at least one time. And I'm just exploring a few things here, like the fuel type. I can see most of the cars are gasoline powered with a sizable amount electric. And the car type, I can see there are cars, SUVs are popular as well. And there are a few vans. I see 3 vans listed, so they may be useful for people looking to move for a day. I could see that being very popular. Now we're going to go and look at the revenue for each car. So I'm going to get the revenue by multiplying the trips taken times the average daily price. So it's not perfect because there could be days where it doesn't get rented and the price may be higher, but it's all we have and it's public data. Next, I'm going to figure out how much time on the market each car has had by looking at the created time and converting it into seconds since the epoch, and then doing some epoch time math here to get the time in months it's been available on the market. So now I get the monthly revenue, which is the total revenue divided by how long it's been on the market. And for fun, I also wanted to calculate the average number of trips each car was making each month. But what I'm really interested in though is the average revenue across all of the different cars. That way I can calculate the monthly revenue deviation, which is going to be for each car, its monthly revenue minus the average revenue for all the cars, so we can figure out which types of cars are making the most money. So here I plotted all this deviation data with respect to the mean monthly revenue of about $231 per car listing. Remember, these are only active listings who have had at least one car ride in their lifetime. So here is 0, that means the mean, and everything in green is above the mean. It means that these car listings are making more than the average car, and everything in red is making under the mean. And it's an interesting distribution here. We see the long tail where a few cars are making a lot of money, like exotic cars. So let's figure out what these cars are so we can buy them and rent them. First, I'm going to break this data down by the fuel type, e.g. gas, electric, diesel, hybrid. And I want to see if a particular type is able to rent above the mean. And here I see the average deviation from the mean is much higher in electric cars versus gasoline cars, diesel, and hybrids. But does that mean we should all go out and buy electric to rent? Not necessarily, because I can see the deviation is only $80. And in the grand scheme of things, that's not a whole lot. I also want to look at total revenue broken down by fuel type. So now I'm going to ignore when the listing was made and its monthly revenue and just get the sum of all revenue. I can see by far gasoline is the lion's share of where the revenue is coming from. Electric is small, but it's still decent. Next, I want to do the same thing and look at vehicle type, like is it an SUV, car, etc. And I can see that minivans really don't perform that well. And it's a pretty significant dent, so I probably don't want to purchase and rent out a minivan. But maybe we can make it up on volume like with gasoline cars. So let's take a look at the pie graph and look at the all-time revenue distribution for minivan and the rest of the car types, and we'll see that, well, it's not that big. Most of the cars being rented and getting money are cars and SUVs, not minivans. So I would rule out any minivans from Turo if you want to make some money. And lastly, let's break this down by car manufacturer so we can see the actual car makers that are resulting in higher monthly revenues for people renting them out on Turo. Now we can see this distribution that we have a few super luxury cars that are making a lot more money on Turo, which means people are willing to pay that amount and there are a steady stream of people that rent them out every month. Now, of course, these cars are expensive to purchase, so it's not all profit. You do need to take the cost of the car into account. And then we can see we have other kind of upscale luxury makers here. They seem to do well. Again, meaning both there are people willing to pay for it and they're willing to pay a higher price than other cars. Then we get to the middle and we see kind of the low end of the spectrum. So this could mean one of two things: that there's not a demand for economy cars on Turo. Like if you just want an economy car, you may as well take an Uber if you don't really care about the experience, or that the lower revenue is due to charging a lower price than for a luxury car. So I think it's a combination of these two factors. One thing that surprised me was to see Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge here all above the mean average monthly revenue, meaning that these American cars are showing strong demand and they're able to charge a decent price to get people to rent them. So go America. And then, like all the other breakdowns, I wanted to look at total revenue for all time. And we have a clear winner, Tesla here. They seem to be really popular on Turo, followed by Chevrolet, another American brand. And we do see some other brands that weren't doing so well on a monthly revenue basis, like Toyota on the more economy cars, but they do still make up a good share of all-time revenue. My guess is that there is still a lot of demand for them. It's just that they tend to bring in a lower amount per month, but they've been around for a while. And then there are other manufacturers here with extremely low volume compared to the big manufacturers. Like I noticed Volvo, they had a higher than average monthly revenue, but there's not a lot of volume, so that may be relatively risky. And because I just had to do it, I had to look at the make and model breakdown. So here, this is going to take a while and it's going to be a really big graph, but I just want to point out a few things. So this is if you really want to take a data-driven approach to purchasing a car that you want to rent out on Turo, you can see the most profitable or revenue-generating cars here on a monthly basis, and they're all supercars, so it may not be worth the sticker price. If I had to pick a winner, I'd say it has to be the Mercedes-Benz E-Class here because I've seen it show up in volume as well as gasoline and being a car, so it looks like a relatively good buy. It's not super expensive, and I think people on Turo, they want one of these like luxury type cars here. There's a similar Mercedes-Benz, there's Land Rovers over here. I saw Ford actually made the list here with the Bronco, so that seems to be a good buy, and it's not a very expensive car. Here in the red, the car models that don't do so well, it's funny, the BMW X6 is one of the worst performing cars for monthly revenue, but the X7 is one of the best. So choose your car wisely and look at this data because it could make a very big difference in your monthly revenue on Turo. And lastly, here is all-time revenue by car make and model. So again, Tesla Model 3 is extremely popular on Turo, but it is not the highest monthly revenue generator. For that, you probably want a more luxurious car like a Mercedes or a Porsche, or again, even Ford, like I'm seeing Mustang and the Bronco. A lot of these unique domestic cars that are not super expensive tend to perform well because people go to Turo for a unique driving experience. And these other cars here with extremely low total revenue, people just don't want. Remember, this is not investment advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is a highly unscientific study, and I'm sure there are a lot of holes in this that statisticians would love to correct me on in the comments. Please like if you enjoyed this so I know to make more of these videos, and subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit about how the rental car market works now. Stay safe, stay amazing, and stay data-driven.